I've recently read a book that highlights the need and describes the process by which we can establish a talent-driven company. The book is entitled Talent Wins by Ram Charan, Dominic Barton, and Dennis Carey. Why do I think you should read this book? It provides evidence for why organizations need to do a much better job at managing their talent. It also lays out a playbook of how that can be achieved, and it challenges how many, if not most, CEOs view HR and their CHRO. And finally, with one of the authors from Korn Ferry and the other one from McKinsey, there's a good chance that this book is going to end up on your CEO's desk. Although I don't agree with everything in the book, it is a very valuable read. As you know, in a brief video like this, there's no way I can capture all of the content. But what I will do is share with you some of the key insights that popped for me. As you read the book, I'm sure you will get other insights, and I hope you share them with all of us. The authors assert that talent has never been more important to the success of a corporation. Talent is king. Talent, even more than strategy, is what creates value. Therefore, as CEO, you must deploy talent as successfully as you deploy capital. You need to know your employees as well as you understand your finances, and you need to shape an organization that empowers those employees to create as much value as possible. The book strongly asserts that one needs to establish what it refers to as the G3, this partnership between the CEO, the Chief Financial Officer, and the Chief Human Resources Officer, and that head of HR needs to be as talented and as empowered as that CFO, and should also be paid as much as the CFO. And it highlights the fact that in most cases, the head of HR only makes about 50 to 60% of the CFO's total comp. The book highlights the 8 characteristics of a successful CHRO. The fact that that individual is effective at judging people and placing people in the right jobs, that they are able to see problems when they exist, that they're always searching for new talent even outside the organization, and that they have strong leadership skills, which hopefully have been developed by assignments in the line as well as within HR. That they have the confidence to really weigh into these G3 discussions, that they're not motivated by building up their own personal power, that when necessary, they can strongly disagree with the CEO, and finally, that they really have the desire and the capability to form that really powerful relationship with that Chief Financial Officer. Although I'm sure we could tweak it, I actually like these 8 characteristics, but they do cause me to reflect on one thing, and that is, despite the fact that I have worked with some really excellent CHROs, I have also observed that some of the worst leaders I have ever met have been people in that position. So the book does highlight the need to really select and develop the right people for these roles. Another theme that comes up repeatedly within the book is what they describe as the critical 2%. In most cases, I believe they're describing the 2% of the people that generate the most value. In other cases, I think they're referring to the positions that generate that value. In either case, the authors assert that the G3 can actually define the critical 2%, but they don't really explain in any great detail the methodology by which that can be done. And even if they did, given the agile world we're all living in, I wonder how fixed in time it is anyway. But they do emphasize that development, especially for that critical 2%, needs to be customized for each individual, and that development training needs to be available for all staff, just not that critical 2%. The authors really stress the importance to form a powerful partnership between the finance organization and HR. They also suggest the rotation of staff between each of those functions. And if you have an analytics function, that function should jointly report into both finance and HR. I think personally that's a great idea. As with other offers, they stress the need to transform the HR function, to ask if your HR department has the technology firepower it really needs, if you have the skills to really extract insights from the data, and to shift the model from an HR business partner model to what they call TVP, or a Talent Value Leader, and that every business unit should really have its own version of that G3. The book ends by defining what it calls the CEO operational checklist. These 5 points that include 1. Holding weekly G3 meetings. 2. Staying involved with those critical 2%. And 3. Putting talent at the center of your board agenda. There's a quote in the book that I love that states that a board that is focused on talent is a board that is focused on the future. 4. When making any strategic move, start with the talent implications, the fact that you must know which leaders drive value. And finally, 5, as CEO, pay as much attention to the development and the execution of your talent strategy than you do to anything else on your agenda. Thanks for watching this. I know I've really only scratched the surface of all the great content that's in this book, but I really do hope that you read it, and when you do, you share your thoughts so that we all can continue to learn from each other.